What's up everybody? For today's video, I'm going to teach you how you can include an eagle or a hawk into your landscape photography. Now I went to Letchworth State Park in upstate New York, and there's a bunch of bald eagles flying around. So I took out a 200mm lens and snapped a couple pictures like this one you see here. Unfortunately, there's a bunch of dead space, and if I try and do a heavy crop, I can't really sell this picture. It's just too pixelated, or it's just too boring. But I decided it would be fun to include this into a landscape image that I also took at Letchworth State Park that has a nice fall foliage, and this is actually where the birds are flying around. So I'm going to bring this bald eagle back into this photo and just put it into this corner over here and just fill out some of that dead space and make it a little more interesting, hopefully. So what we're going to do is grab our two images and go to Photo, Edit In, Open as layers in Photoshop. Okay, so over in Photoshop, you want to resize the bird so it doesn't look too unnatural. So I'm gonna go to Edit, Free Transform, and scale this down. I'm also gonna rotate it a little bit. I want to show you two different ways to do this. So I'm going to make a copy of this photo, and the first one, I'm going to hide that. Let's jump to this image right here, and all we have to do is change this from normal mode to darken, and this will keep anything that's dark visible, and anything that's lighter than what the background is will disappear. So right now my sky is still here, and that's because it's darker than this sky. So if we go to Image Adjustments, Brightness, and we raise the brightness levels, now the sky has disappeared and it's blended in with the landscape sky. And just hit OK, and if we zoom in, you can see it's done a really good job. You don't have to worry about any of the edges around the feathers. Now if you have some dark clouds in the sky, that could be an issue right here where the feathers are lighter, and I'll show you what I mean. If we drag this over to the dark area of this image, see how the tail feathers have disappeared, and that's just because these trees are darker than the tail. So that's just something to be cautious of, placing your bird or your hawk or eagle. Just be aware of the surroundings that this is going to be in front of. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is, let's go back to this layer and just take your magic wand tool, and you're going to select right inside the sky area here, and you can hit delete, and we'll get rid of the marching ants by doing Command D. Now if I move this around and you still have some of that left over, you could do that again. Alright, so now the sky is completely gone, and let's just zoom in here. It doesn't look too bad. It's a little, the edges are a little jagged compared to the other one that we did, but it's not terrible. I'm zoomed in pretty far, so from a distance it should be alright. The only thing that I don't like about this method is if we go to a darker area right here, you could see that I have some blue from the sky in between the wings, or in between the feathers of the wing, and this could be a problem when you're dealing with a dark color sky. So right now it doesn't look that bad because the skies are pretty close as far as matching, but if this was a completely different dark blue sky and you went to use this technique, you're gonna have to really zoom in and kind of airbrush in between the feathers. Now that's why I kind of prefer using the darken method, and sometimes you might have to use both methods and kind of blend them together. If it's a really challenging sky and you're trying to make it look as natural as possible, it'll call for a little bit more work. But the majority of the times, it shouldn't be too hard to blend the eagle or a hawk into the sky relatively naturally. And then at this point, we could continue to just manipulate the bird some more, whether we want to change the positioning of it, the location, and the size. Alright, so as you can see, it's pretty easy to do. I wouldn't use it on every photo, but there's just some pictures that maybe you can make them a little more interesting by using this technique, and you're not letting those pictures of your birds go to waste. So it's kind of fun to do and experiment with. Once you're done and you're at this point and you want to keep it, just going to go and right click and then flatten your image, hit OK, and then file, save as, and then you're all good to go. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bye.